Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Master amongst hammers, sages, the king of the ring himself. It's your boy, Thicky Smalls, Gerard Michaels, in the house. Well done. Handled well.
That's beautiful.
We're live. Back at our new time, 2 o'clock on Monday. It's your boy, Gerard Michaels, back from Texas. Thank you kindly. And to my right, at 6'3", 210 pounds, and every single one of them is a problem, the king of the ring himself, the CEO of the RNC, the master of punks, the tamer of sages, the man, the myth, the legend, Mickey Gall, ladies and gentlemen. What's happening?
What's up, Big G?
How you doing?
Good. So you're standing with me today, huh?
I'm standing with you.
Yeah, I see that.
I'm back from Texas.
You want to be like me? I'm used to it, dude. Everybody wants to be like me, so I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta get some of these fucking Nevin sunglasses if you really want to be like me. But
Really?
Yeah.
They do look good on you.
Yeah, I saw you even did a little shadow box and shit. Yeah, with the brass knucks.
Yeah,
huh?
man. Yeah. So big kind of news here, bud.
Yeah, what's up?
2 years. 2 years in Florida. Officially
Congrats.
2 years.
Salutations.
Thank you very much. I'm a Florida man now. 2 years in Florida. I can't believe it's been 2 years already since those fucking motherless cunts in the government of New York and New Jersey forced me away from my home down into this paradise. But it's good to see that things are just as bad as they've ever been up there for all our loved ones. What are you still doing up there? Why are you there? What do you like about it? Is it the gray skies? Is it the toxic clouds coming down from Canada?
I can't have you talking about Jersey like this.
Is it
right
the
around
high
4th
taxes?
Of July.
Is it high
it's
taxes?
4th of July, bro.
Yeah.
It's 4th of July. The best place to be in the world is down the Jersey Shore on 4th of July.
Okay, fair. I will grant. 4th of July, Jersey Shore.
That's a great reason.
It's money. And then as soon as it's the 5th of July, pack up and get your ass out. Because emancipate yourself from tax and slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. I just don't understand it, bro. I don't understand why people want to pay $18 tolls. I don't understand why people want to hit the potholes. I don't understand why people want to pay $17,000, $18,000 a year in property taxes. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Come down to the sunny free state of Florida, man, and live your best life. 0% income tax, people. And somehow we still have roads. There's my public service now. 2 years.
Yeah, man, really started this off with a positive note.
I am positive.
With a bang.
I am positive. I'm positive y'all should leave the fucking toxic gray skies of Soviet Northeast. They come on down. I was in Texas chilling. I drove. First of all, they made it seem like the drive from Dallas to Austin was like a quick little drive. It is not. That is a 4-hour hoof. That's going from like Boston to New York, man. They made it seem like it's like right down the road. That shit's a drive.
Yeah.
Austin's dope as hell, though. Dallas, yeah, I mean, with all due respect to Nancy Tran, we love us some Nancy Tran, but I ain't about that Dallas life, I gotta be honest with you.
So you're shitting on Jersey, you're shitting on Dallas. Any other places you want to shit on before we get,
Philadelphia can suck a dick. Portland can suck a dick. San Antonio, y'all are pretty cool, but I'd be the thinnest woman in the entire city. We got, what else?
I want people from these places to respond.
DC can suck all the dicks.
All of them?
Yeah, the whole Delmarva area, Baltimore, although Camden Yards might be the best stadium in the whole. The Baltimore Ravens might have the coolest jerseys in the NFL, and the Baltimore.
Camden Yards is a pretty cool stadium. I remember I went one time, me and my friends, we got on like a bus and had like a bunch of fucking beers, went down to go see the Yankees play the Orioles.
Oh, nice. But
we hit like Larry Flynn's strip club first, right? My one boy, I think he spent like $500 and got like I don't know.
What happened now?
I think he got like a.
Were you about to say something you shouldn't say?
I think he ejaculated in his pants.
Oh, no.
But like for $500, like, what are you doing, bro?
$500.
Yeah, something like that. And we were like poor college kids. And but I'll tell you this, I was watching I was watching the game like this. Like being all drunk from there, like I was just squinting, trying to like watch the baseball game after.
No shit.
Yeah, it was yeah. It was the wrong order. You should have gone baseball game, then to the strip club. We went strip club, had a lot of fun, then baseball game where it's like, you know. The vibes were off.
There is nothing better though than like being with your boys, getting a little booze cruise going, then going to check out the game for a little bit. There was a game.
No, there is something better.
Yeah.
Not going to the game.
Oh, just the game. Yeah, the game is the worst part. Yeah.
And I'm not. You know me. I'm not a strip club guy.
No.
I doesn't almost nothing for me.
Yeah.
But it was a fun time then.
Yeah.
We had nice. You know, they had those. We're on like a bus. We were in like Nutley, New Jersey. We got on a bus and
bang
took a bus down.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you about the time I hit Preston Wilson with a sandal?
Who's Preston Wilson?
So Preston Wilson is Mookie Wilson's son. He hit like 40 home runs in the big leagues. And and we were, all my college teammates, we went out Philadelphia when Citizens Bank just opened. They would do like college nights on Thursdays, and it was like dollar dog and dollar beer, and you'd sit all the way up in like the third deck, and nobody even knew there was a game going on. It was just an absolute shit show nightclub up there. There were girls like taking their tops off, but like dads who had little kids in the seats next to them. Like, it was crazy. It was Philadelphia craziness, the nutsest things you could ever imagine. Yeah, that's Preston right there. So one day we go as like a whole team.
Sup, Preston?
We go as a whole team, and we spend like the first 7 innings up in there. And then we start making our way down to like field level to try to get some better seats, right? So we get down behind center field, and we're like 3 rows off behind center field. And then 1 row ahead of us, there's this like row of good-looking girls, and they keep turning around and like looking over us. And they're trying to get the attention of like these guys who are like 2 rows behind us. First of all, why? We're right in front of you. I mean, come on. Second of all, I guess the guy was famous. That guy's name was like MJ or something like that. And he was on like Road Rules or something like whatever. Maybe it was Road Rules. What was the other one? There was 2. There was Real World and Road Rules.
I remember. So there's Real World and Road Rules, and then they would do the Real World Road Rules challenges.
Yes.
And they would have all these guys go in, all these people, like the best ones from the shows. Like they get rid of some of the guys.
Yeah.
And then they'd come in and they'd do their conniving.
This was Jersey Shore before Jersey Shore.
So I do remember. I do remember watching one. I remember there. And you're gonna have to pull this up. I think there's this dude MJ. Who he was in Real World.
Yes.
And he was almost like Matthew McConaughey.
Yes. Exactly.
If I remember.
Yes,
correctly.
that is who the guy was, right behind us.
Yeah. Fuck you guys. MJ's the shit.
So anyway, these girls agreed with you, and they were trying to get his attention. So finally, we're like, hey, sit down. What the fuck you doing? You want to switch seats? And then this girl's all drunk as hell and goes, you shut the fuck up. And I'm like, I ain't gonna shut the fuck up. And then somehow, some way, one of their shoes, there was like a scuffle, and one of their shoes, like a flip-flop, ends up on my
What do you
lap.
mean a scuffle?
It was like, I don't know, like a kerfluffle. I don't know. It was like a pushing and shoving or some shit.
Betwixt who? You and the girl?
No.
You pushed her so hard her fucking flip-flop flew
Yeah,
up in there?
I think between like a couple of the girls that we brought with us and like the girls, one of their flip-flops lands on my lap, and then she's like, give me the flip-flop back. I was like, you gonna sit down? And I look like I'm gonna throw it, and her guy goes, "You won't throw it, you pussy!" And the dude,
now I have to throw
the 2 dudes.
You could throw a flip flop at a girl. It's not like hitting them. You know what I mean?
The 2 dudes with me, Ben Brown, who you've met, my boy Ben Brown, and my other boy Matt, go to this other guy. No, said I was like, I won't what? And before he could even finish the sentence, I chucked this flip flop as far as I can throw it. Not very far because flip flops are not very aerodynamic.
You gotta throw like a frisbee, like a fucking boomerang.
Hand to fucking God, I did not mean to do this. I just meant to chuck the flip-flop.
Okay.
I dome piece Preston Wilson, who's playing center field for the Colorado Rockies. I dome piece him in the back, and he literally gets hit by a flip-flop, and he turns to the crowd and goes like, what the fuck? Who throws
Oh,
a
he
shoe?
was out there playing?
Yes, center
that's
field.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So the camera comes on me.
I thought he was like there with you, like hanging out.
No, the whole crowd starts chanting asshole, and I'm like flexing like I'm Ric Flair, and security starts coming. So we jet, and we're trying to run out of the fucking stadium. We're trying to like get out of there, but we're like a group of like 18 people trying to figure a way out. A couple of us got out. A couple of us had to take one for the team there. Caught a little. You know that there's a whole judge and there's a whole judge and everything underneath, and they'll give you the citations right there on site.
I've heard that.
Yeah. Now here's where the story gets crazy.
Is that everywhere though? I know that's at like in
Philly,
Philadelphia.
and I believe Yankee Stadium for sure.
They have a fucking judge just sitting down there for
Chilling, like a justice of the peace.
Does he have like a fucking wig?
He should. Yeah, you have been brought before the court here for
British
throwing.
court?
Yeah,
And they still dress like that in British court.
That's right. Now wait, hold on. This is where the story gets crazy. Fast forward 4 years later, I get released by the Cardinals, and I'm playing for the Newark Bears. And who is playing center field for the Long Island Ducks? None other than Preston Wilson.
Yeah.
And I go up to Preston before one of the games. I was like, hey, man, big fan, loved your dad on the Mets. And, he's like, yeah, cool. He kind of talks like Elvis Presley. It's really kind of like, he was a cool dude. And he's like.
Well, Elvis got a lot of his swag from Brothers.
So
there's
it came full circle.
Yeah.
So he was like, finally I get around to telling him stories. So, hey, look, man, like 4 years ago, I was in college and I was in Philadelphia, and I don't know if you remember. And he looks and he goes, was it the battery or the shoe? I was like, it was the shoe. It was the shoe. I threw the shoe. He goes, you threw the shoe? I was like, yeah, man. Gets even crazier. He's still playing next year. There's that one highlight of the guy trying to run me over at home plate, and I kind of shake it off and tag him. That's Preston Wilson.
He tried to chuck you for
He
throwing
tried
that
to
shoe.
chuck me, and he broke. Unfortunately,
He was out of his weight class.
Unfortunately, he broke his collarbone in that play and ended his career. So not only
Damn.
did I hit this dude with a shoe, I ended this dude's career. I am the bane of Preston Wilson's existence. And if you're listening to this, Preston, just know I'm a big fan, man. I'm sorry. I thought you were great. I thought you were a great player. I mean, dude hit bombs, played center. There was no malice intent. It's just, it's Mercury's in retrograde or some shit.
But yeah, Preston, if you want to get your get back,
welcome on the show.
You come on the show, or you can sign a waiver if you want to spar a G and beat him up.
We'll do. Maybe we could do like a slap for slap thing or something like that, or
yeah, maybe. I mean, whatever.
We'll just do like some straight up spaz.
It's up to him. You screwed him over, so whatever he picks the avenue.
I feel like he could throw a shoe at me. I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
I'm owed that. The other one he kind of did to himself.
Right. He brought that upon himself.
Yeah, he tried to truck me. Low man wins. Mm-hmm. But if he wants to chuck a shoe, fair is fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he has to do it from the same distance that I did it at. I mean, we're not going to throw a shoe from 4 feet here. But, Preston, if you're listening, you got it, bud. At the 100th episode, I mean, Mickey's got this fetish where he likes people beating me to death at the lives. So, Jim Miller kicked me. You could throw a shoe. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to get a power slapper on the show.
For you.
What do you mean?
You're going to do the power slap.
No.
Yeah.
No. I'll gently, I'll let them see what let them try and I'll be like, all right, try and kill me. Try and kick my ass with all your might, and I'll gently jujitsu them and make them tap out, and then I'm going to be like, all right, because we talked about this. I saw on this one power slapper's Instagram.
Yeah.
Had a picture of him and a picture of Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
And he goes, people wouldn't believe that this guy would beat this guy in a power slap match.
Okay.
And I'm one of those people who don't believe it. So I would like to see, you're the poor man's Francis Ngannou in this scenario.
I had a nickel for every time I've heard that.
And I want to let I want you to be able to get your little meat hands on this guy, and let's see what's going on.
I just can't see myself letting another man hit me. It's just it's too counterintuitive to my instincts. Yeah, I'm just not gonna let a man hit me.
Well, you can do that every day until the power slapper comes on the show, and then you just gotta You got bite down, take a schlapski poo, and then you get to give a schlapski poo.
I don't know. We'll think about it. I'm not 100% on that. Speaking of gently rocking people to sleep, the GOAT, the greatest baseball player of all time, is now well on his way to becoming the greatest martial artist of all time. Barry Bonds, ladies and gentlemen. Barry Bonds, a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Barry Bonds, cool. Blue belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. As Mickey says, a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu means you have a superpower over what? 95% of the population?
Probably about 95%, yeah. That means you've been doing Jiu-Jitsu for over a year. And yeah, you understand, especially if you're at a good school, you understand concepts and principles that you can apply to any position in a fight and, subdue a human being.
Now, can I see that picture of Barry again? Does Barry look like he's still on the Heat there?
Is it
1993?
The jiu-jitsu community loves the Heat, loves the Bamba.
They love the Bamba?
Yeah, oh, what?
Yeah?
What?
Gordon Ryan?
What?
Gordon Ryan?
Man, we don't need to talk about people's names, but I mean, all these
He looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Who looks more impressive?
They're not doing drug
who looks more impressive?
For a reason.
Who looks more impressive? 2000.
And I don't hate on it. I want to see these guys all fucking jacked up and fucking, you know what I mean?
Bring back steroids in baseball.
Yeah, whatever.
Who can tell me that 2002 baseball isn't better than today's baseball? What product gets worse over 20 years?
I just look like this all natural, baby. That's just hard work.
A lot of liver.
Yeah.
Lot of liver, a lot of walking.
Yeah, I got my my little breakfast going on over here.
Look at that! Look at that dude is fucking yoked, bro. It's probably just a pump, you know. It's probably just a pump. He probably just got a sick workout in. He's got the little vascular. It's probably like a little good clean eating, maybe a little CoQ10, little arginine gets the vascularity going, you know. I tell you what, though.
Take that down. I'd say we weren't talking about people.
But it's just like that picture you said before. It's like, could the guy on the right beat the guy on the left? What if they were the same guy?
Yeah.
Although, listen, we've talked about this a lot. There's that look, that like aesthetic look for an athlete, and then there's an actual athlete too, right?
Sure.
There's nobody, like if you walked around Mark Hunt, you wouldn't be like, that's the guy that you don't want to mess around with, right? Like if you put Mark Hunt next to an Alistair Overeem, they're both really badass motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Bad example. But I mean like a Mark Hunt versus like who? Like
I don't know, fucking any bodybuilder.
Cody Rhodes.
Any bodybuilder in the world.
Yeah.
You're going to look at the bodybuilder and be like, oh, yeah, that guy's like, I bet that guy's tough or anything. But, bodybuilders, they get like that so they don't have to fight. So they hope they beat you just with the fear.
I wouldn't mind to see Barry Bonds throwing some hands, though, bro. I bet you Barry Bonds got some quickies. I bet you he's got some quickies.
I don't know, man.
You don't know?
I don't know. I don't know what condition is. I haven't seen fucking old Barry in a minute.
Barry Bonds took a 101 Troy Percival fastball and went,
you're right. One of the best baseball players ever.
500 feet. Pull side.
No, I remember Barry Bonds. I grew up watching Barry Bonds, bro. He'd smash that shit into the water.
Fastest hands, unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal hands.
But we don't know what type of shape he's in now. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And we don't know, what his, I don't know. I feel like sometimes when people are like super good at one sport, it's going to be hard to translate and be smooth doing certain things. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yes, he's super. If Barry Bonds had been like learning how to throw hands since he was like playing baseball, I'm sure he'd be amazing. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. Some of it depends too, man. Some of these guys are kind of built for contact, and some of these guys are not. Some of these guys are kind of built for show, and some of them are built to go. You know, that's the way it is in any sport, really. I mean, you look at guys like tight ends. Like, you got some of the biggest, baddest looking dudes on earth, but make them block. Like,
yeah,
I'm here to catch.
Yeah,
I'm here to run little seams. You know, I don't want to. The blocking's tough.
You notice my 3 drinks I got going on?
Look at this. Look at Christian. Look at Christian pulling up highlights. Atta boy.
I'll tell you about stuff I actually do know.
Go for it. That was Barry Bonds just dropping head right there.
So I saw, actually, shout out to Christos. He was talking about, he was the first one who kind of was talking about this. They were talking about, so at this point, I've heard of at least 4 people who have cured cancer by fasting.
Oh boy.
4 people who had been diagnosed with cancer. You can explain your old boy, but I'm gonna. Here's the thing. Here's a little difference, G. Things I talk about are things that I know about.
Oh,
I know about the benefits of fasting.
sure.
Right?
What you trying to say, bro?
I know.
What you trying to say?
Is that yesterday was maybe the first time I ever gave you advice on comedy?
Yeah.
Right?
Trying to say I don't know fasting, bro?
I've gotten a lot of MMA advice.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I'm saying no. I'm not saying you don't understand. I'm just saying if Mickey G's speaking about something, it's something that I'm gonna be factually correct, and I'm gonna know my shit. So I know.
Just want to be clear here. You're saying you know how to cure cancer.
No.
Okay.
I'm speaking on. I said I know the benefits of fasting. But that I've heard of 4 times fasting has killed cancer or saved people from cancer.
Okay.
What's your big skepticism over here? You just hate not eating that much?
1, yes. Let's calm down on
That's
anything.
what this is about?
Let's calm down on that. 2.
This is you're projecting big time over there,
I
bro.
think anytime there's something as serious as like curing cancer or something like that, like, dude, we got to be like really careful. Like to me, this is like the idea that,
I said I know of 4, not 400, but I don't know how many people are actually are really trying this.
Mm-hmm. So what? Give me the.
It seems to be in a 21-day fast. So fasting is when you don't eat. You can drink water.
Mm-hmm.
You can have like salt. You can have certain things.
Can you take supplements?
If the supplements have 0 calories, you I think you could technically drink coffee, and you're still fasting.
Probably not going to want to do that.
I think you want to do like a water fast, and especially if you're trying to like kill cancer, you want your body to be like in a good pH, all that shit.
Uh-huh.
But basically, I can at least the extreme side of it is how this cancer thing that we're hearing about. I know fasting. People talk a lot about fasting, and the big benefit is that your body's not digesting, right? It's not having to send blood to your stomach. It's sending blood to your muscles and like to other things to repair. Mm-hmm. Maybe with this cancer thing, it's doing that to those 6 cells or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I think they're, and like I said, I've heard of 4 cases of it. 4 cases.
I think sometimes people that are in, and I don't know, because I have read people that have stories about. I've even heard somebody that. Well, I guess let me put it this way. There was a guy I used to know. Was involved in my career at one point. Was very into kind of these like scammy.
You know, I'm drinking these shakes and have coffee. Because it's because of the escort system. The caffeine's gonna help shoot all these all the protein and all the good stuff and the carbs right into my muscles and replenish my glycogen at a faster rate. So like, I know my shit. But anyway, keep going. That's why I got 3 beverages here. I was trying to talk about that before, but you were jacking off to Barry Bonds. He's got a great swing. Best hands I've ever seen.
I'm gonna let him finish the clanking.
Fuck that. I'm not eating. I'm allowed to drink. It's my podcast. I can do whatever I want.
My podcast.
It's my podcast.
My podcast.
It's your podcast too.
Oh, okay. So, anyway.
Oh, you were saying my podcast, or you were questioning? I thought you were saying like it's mine too.
No, it's your podcast.
It's my podcast. I can do whatever I want on it.
Okay. So anyway.
Whose podcast is it?
I think it's an hour's podcast?
Yeah, but it's mine and it's your podcast too.
Okay. I don't think that's how the... all right. So, I'm going to take these glasses. I'm going to fucking throw them is what I'm going to end up doing.
What glasses?
The ones on your face.
How are you going to get them?
You don't think I'll get the glasses?
No.
You don't think I'll get the glasses? You're that confident?
I'm very sure you won't get the glasses.
Really?
Like, when I put them down sometime later? Is how, like, no, yeah.
So you're so confident that you could beat me in a fight. There's no doubt about that. But you don't think I can get the glasses off your face?
No. My movement.
Okay.
My movement.
Well, there's certainly an easy way to find out. I'll get the glasses off his face, Christian.
Listen, wait. All three of you guys, I welcome all three of you guys to try, but I will tell you
I think
this,
all three of us could get the glasses.
But how? When I hit each one of you with a concussive blow, you're gonna still keep coming for the glasses? I don't think so.
You guys are not.
I'm not getting hit.
Is the game?
You guys.
You guys chase me around and I don't. But what if I decide to fight back? Then I'm gonna keep my glasses.
I have a better chance of getting the glasses without you guys. I feel like.
I'm gonna ding one of you in the head and I'm gonna throw you at the other one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use your bodies on the floor to then I'll navigate over this one. I'll navigate over this one. It'll be good.
Yeah. So anyway, I think what happens is medicine, modern medicine, science, and shit like that are under such scrutiny right now and deserve scrutiny that we've got to be very careful not to have like quacky pseudoscience fill that void of knowledge. Like there's this kind of idea, I feel like our generation almost was overconfident that kind of medicine had it figured out, and now we don't trust it anymore. And I think that the door was cracked open for some bad science also to come in and be like, well, those guys were always wrong. I told you, that makes me right. They can both be wrong at the same time. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying, like, just because somebody's lying about this doesn't necessarily mean the people that said that they're lying are right about everything that they're saying.
Right. I'm gonna send this to you real quick, Christian. What should I send this? Do I send to your Instagram or what?
Is it an Instagram post?
Yeah.
Yeah, just send it to my.
Yeah, here's another one of those things. I think it's interesting, and I think if you're like I've had people that like I love that are like, if I get cancer, like I'm just gonna do, I'm not gonna do anything. Like I'm not gonna take chemo, I'm not gonna get radiation, because they've seen how painful and how rough that is on people.
Sure.
So I think I'm not saying this is the thing. Let me make myself clear. I'm just saying this is a thing that is working for some people.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I also think, I think almost everyone is going to get cancer, or at least like, it's a 50-50 shot of cancer in someone's life. So, you know what I mean? Think about it, right? I know.
No, they say it's a 100% chance. It just depends on how long you live.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, I
know all four of my grandparents had cancer. 2 of them lived and 2 of them died from it.
I mean, cancer itself, I don't want to act like I know, but I mean, my understanding of cancer itself is it's just a mutation of cells. It's a mutation of cells inside your body that then has a degradation process, right? One of the things I think that's interesting about the fasting is, well, what were you eating, consuming, and doing beforehand that may have caused the cancer?
Right.
Were you eating like hyper-processed foods? Were you smoking a lot? Were you drinking a lot? Were you know what I'm saying? So, again, I'm not like saying fasting is bad. I'm just saying, like, as a catch-all, what were you doing before? What were they doing after?
Right. You wouldn't say fasting's not bad at all.
I think
right?
there's a lot of science that says fasting's good.
It is.
Yeah, there's ways that you could boost your natural HGH. There's ways that like your cells are regenerating, and
there's a lot. And one I know, but I also think, I come from a place of a performance athlete. I'm not like how you talked about before, guys who are just trying to look a certain way. Like I'm looking to perform. All right.
Yeah.
So I think, and I've heard that you get can get better, more out of yourself, can get a better output by having something in you. Like having something in your stomach, like eating something before training. But I'll tell you this, I feel worse.
Me too.
Almost all the time. So like when I do my morning workout, I do it fasted.
Yeah.
That's why this is the first thing I'm eating today. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I feel more like clean and like I move good. Whenever I try to do it the other way, it's like, just hold on to that for a sec, buddy. Whenever I like put something in, like I'm fucking like eat, I feel like I'm a little, you know what I mean? And I know like on the weekends, I will fast like for like a long time, like maybe till like 6 o'clock at night. I won't eat something till,
Well, they're trying to figure this out. They got those insulin things for some athletes where they're putting them on. It's like a thing that sticks on you for like 9 months or some shit, and it tracks your sugar and your insulin spikes.
Yeah.
And insulin is like the single best of all of the growth hormones. It like regulates everything in your body. Yeah.
Why don't people take insulin?
Because if you get the dosage like even a little bit wrong, you die.
Okay.
But a lot of them do. A lot of the Balco stuff was insulin. Like what's her name? Who won all those? What's her name? Who won all of those?
The track athlete?
Yeah. What the hell was her name? But
not Maurice Jones, because
it's kind of like that though. I know it's something Maurice Jones drew. Yeah. Man. But she won like 9 golds in 2 Olympics, and turns out like insulin was her primary hormone that she was taking. They were modulating her testosterone to be as high as it was allowed to be. And apparently, I don't want to start conspiracies, but steroids didn't go away in sports. Shocker. But a lot of these guys, they've just figured out how to keep and maintain the maximum amount allowable underneath the rules. So like you're allowed a certain amount of testosterone. So if you're, I don't know, ball player X, okay, and you know that you're coming up in the next inning, you can microdose a testosterone lozenge. Your body will metabolize it in a half hour. You come up and your body's rocked, ready to go. You're locked in. You got that little extra jump. You hit that ball out in front, home run, high five, go me. Even if you get tested after the game, your body's metabolized it out, and all it'll show is that your testosterone is at the highest level it's allowed to be. So, like, you could, quote unquote, test positive, but not be illegal. They're not testing for insulin. You know, they're not testing for like insulin growth factor and those sort of things. So, like, there's a lot of this stuff, you know, that I think one of the reasons why I wish this stuff was legalized is because, man, I'd love to know for a fact, like, what works. Like, I want to know what Barry Bonds was on. Like, that's peak human performance. Like, I want to, like,
I think it's gonna be different from like for each person. But I know exactly what you're saying. I agree. Like, it'd be cool to, and I don't want there to be mailmen who could jump up and dunk better than players in the NBA. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want there to be fucking, you know, like if any, you know what I mean? Like it just kind of is like, I don't know. I think it makes it kind of weird.
Well, let me put it this way. And if people are hearing this, maybe this will give you a different perspective on it. Right now, all you're doing, you're not making this stuff illegal. What you're doing is making it illegal for the poor. The rich have access to all this stuff. One of the things, like, by keeping steroids illegal in baseball, I always thought was weird, is these guys can afford to spend a summer in Germany or Thailand, spin their blood with GH, live there for a whole year, come back a whole year younger, faster, stronger. We're in the minor leagues making $1,200 a month. We can't afford a $600 a month cycle. Like, even if we wanted to, then we couldn't do it. So all it does is it's another one of those things that keeps the rich richer. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
we're sorry for the incompetence of our producers.
So let's, Omri, do we have anybody in the chat we want to say what's up to? And we got any comments that we want to let's respond to, and then get back to kind of what we were saying?
I got shit
Yes,
to
there
say.
is one question from Douglas Matthews. It says, does Gerard actually believe he can get the glasses?
Gerard will get the glasses. Gerard will
when
get the
I'm
glasses.
asleep?
Gerard will get the glasses.
Well, when I'm asleep?
Gerard will get the glasses.
It seems that our fans are doubting that.
Yeah.
They want to see you try.
It's all I'm thinking about right now. All I'm thinking about for the whole rest of the
We can
day.
cut to the wide shot and just, you know.
Do you know how much damage the studio would take, Christian?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't.
If Christian's signing off on it.
I'm not signing off on anything, guys.
You're not signing off on anything?
I don't have clearance for that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So first you get rid of our audio, and now you ruin our fun.
So anyway, the thing I was saying about Jennifer Aniston and Jennifer Lopez.
Right.
Now, I don't know this for a fact. Obviously, this is allegedly, but what they did differently is instead of like everybody else who carves themselves up and did like the plastic surgery and stuff, they've been doing hormonal injections. They've been doing, apparently, allegedly, growth hormone.
Apparently, there's a
Apparently,
there's a
and
slime,
allegedly.
and apparently, I've never been on the news before. You know that video?
The kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that video? Pull that shit up late and have it ready. That kid cute as fuck.
Yeah, that's the apparently kid. I think he's like 30 now. Yeah, so they've been doing like insulin, growth hormone, and like
Apparently.
that type of shit. They've been doing those injections, and that's why they're like 50. They look incredible. So they're not like nipping and tucking themselves anymore. That stuff, I got to be honest, man. That kind of anti-aging, to me, that's science. That's technology. That's growth.
Yeah,
I got no problem with that.
That's modern. Use what we got. It's modern technology.
Yeah. The whole
If it's
steroid
healthy,
thing.
makes you feel good, you could afford it. Fuck yeah.
Are steroids in the jiu-jitsu community, are they like frowned upon? Or do people like in Brazil, is it like the Dominican Republic? Nobody
Yeah, it
gives
was
a
so
shit.
funny. Fucking Craig Jones was talking about. He's like the perfect combination of like a student that I'm looking for is like a little bit of autism and steroids.
I saw that. That was incredible.
Yo, Craig Jones is so funny.
Hey,
bro.
what's the perfect? Somebody asked. So what's the perfect jiu-jitsu fighter?
Yeah.
Autism and steroids.
It makes sense. It makes sense. What was I saying?
But I mean, like in the UFC, that's obviously frowned on. You know, guys like
Frowned on,
Belfort.
so you get popped. Yeah.
Yeah, Belfort.
I mean, there's got to be people doing it. It's
Sure.
And it's got like we said, it's got to be people not in America. Almost
No.
any American fighter gets caught.
yeah,
That does it. You know what I mean?
It's similar to the baseball players, but there's also the stigma of doing it. But you know who doesn't seem to give a shit? Football players don't seem to care. Football players are like, all right, I'll take my 4
fuck it.
games. I'll see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll see you. You know, I didn't want to play all 17 anyway. I'll catch
If you
you.
have the right mix, I call it the Goldilocks zone. If you have the right mix of autism and steroids, you are guaranteed, 100% guaranteed, to become a world champion. Focusing on steroids, but really as a
Wow. Shout out to
Funny.
Paul Harris. Not to name names, but
Yeah.
you know, it's amazing to me that like NBA players have escaped this whole debate for 30 years. Like, if you look at an NBA player, they always bring up like what a baseball player looked like in 1990 compared to like 2000. If you look at what an NBA player looked like in 1990 compared to what an NBA player looked like today, it's insane. Like LeBron James is 280 pounds, and all he does is run and jump every day for a living. How's he maintaining all that mass?
You know what? You know when we were just we were gonna perform when the audio went out.
Yeah.
And I'm still feeling like I want to give more to the people. So I'm gonna tell them some dope shit to do to make their fucking life better. Some shit that I know for a fact makes me feel good and is gonna make them feel good. You ready for this, G? You've probably heard this before, but you can make your life better by doing this shit too. First, talked about fasting, right?
I'm out.
Get up, go, and we talked about LIST, right? What does LIST stand for, G?
Low intensity, steady state.
Bang, bang, beautiful. That's my man. You're
Yep.
paying attention. I'm proud of you. So you go out first thing, and before you eat, you walk. Go out in the sun. It's summer. It's summertime. Go walk. Walk for about 40 minutes to an hour. Move out there. Yo, I do this Saturday
I'm gonna
and Sunday.
shake the ice the whole time he's talking like he did.
I do
for
this
me.
Saturday and Sunday, and I fucking love it. I'll be bopping back and forth. I'll be kind of moving backwards. I'll be like side shuffling. I'm moving. I got the sun beat on me. I'm sweating. I feel great. I feel so good. And I do that. It's so good for your heart. It's like better than cardio, or it's better than sprinting for your cardio or like running long distance.
That's a new one.
And especially
I've
for-
heard that recently. A doctor told me that, and
bro,
that's a new one.
It's good, and it makes you lean. Like makes you gets rid of like fat. Like it's really good for you. And then I'm also gonna say, look, eating wise, you should try and get like 30 to 50 grams of protein in each meal. Right, especially if you're like a man, maybe
30 to 50 grams
of
each meal.
protein each meal.
Are you doing 5 meals a day?
They say you're supposed to do your body weight in grams a day. So
Really?
if I'm
That's a lot of protein.
yeah. So yeah, for you'd need to do what are you about
600 grams of protein.
Well, what are you weighing in right now? About 280?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
All right, yeah. So you would need to do about like 5 meals of a little more than 50.
Bro, I could get those glasses. You people are crazy. I could get those glasses.
You think you could?
I could get those glasses. 100%.
Look at this table here. There's
All
no
right,
fucking
the
way.
table's tough. The table's tough.
Yeah, there's no
Mickey,
way.
we have a question from the chat about that.
About
Who
what?
do you think can get? Who would you say can get the glasses?
I don't think there's been a man born from his mother who can get these fucking glasses. You gotta order. You gotta order
Just
yours
people
at
on
Nevin.
C-sections
You gotta
got it.
order yours on Nevin. So I was saying about food wise, right? Mm-hmm. You can eat carbs. People think carbs are bad. White rice.
Michael Chandler says carbs are the enemy.
He says carbs are the enemy. Listen, I think, and everything should be taken with a little grain of salt because everyone has different
See, and my
issues.
doctor told me to stay away from salt.
Salt is a performance enhancer. Salt's good for you, unless you have a heart condition or what's your fucking problem? I don't want to go into your medical here.
Well, it's hypertension, but you said take anyway, go ahead.
That's no good. What?
No, go ahead. Don't listen to them.
What? I said take it with a grain of salt?
Yeah, and then I took it literally, and then you took what I said literally. And then
I know. But salt is good for you. I do. That's some. So before I fast in the morning, when I fast in the morning, I have a shaker bottle. I put like 3 grams of salt in it. I have like a scooper that it's 5 grams, so I do like, a little less than full. Pop it in there and like some glutamine, and I drink that like on my way to the gym. It's good for performance. They say you want to do that 30 minutes to an hour before you work out. 3 grams of salt. If you don't have like heart problems or hypertension, whatever the fuck. So eating, you can do a carb, especially if you're a performance athlete, you work out a lot. And this is all stuff for people who work out. If you're not working out and shit, like I don't know what to tell you. You'll feel better, work out. So you try and get 30 to 50 grams of protein, and from good protein, that's like eggs, good lean meats like grass-fed beef, chicken's okay. I don't really fuck with pork, but if you like pork, do some pork. Venison, bison, that's the type of shit you want. You want to be eating like liver, some badass shit. Eat some organs, that's good for you. It's got the most nutrients. Then you can do like a fruit in there. Fruit's good for you. It helps hydrate you very naturally, better sometimes they say than drinking water. You can get it from your food. And throw some vegetables in there. I mostly do. I don't do that many vegetables. I do when I'm in camp. I do a lot of vegetables just to fill my stomach up with something, so I feel a little full because they have like no calories. And yeah, stay away from just bullshit. But if you eat like that, white rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, oatmeal, shit like that, whatever agrees with your body. You're gonna be feeling great.
Have you ever done that? What do they call it? The CEO. What do they call it?
Of the RNC?
The CEO of the RNC.
That's what you call me.
That's right. They call it the CEO physical or the president physical, the presidential physical.
Look at that.
It's like $5,000. It's very expensive, but you go and they basically do like blood work.
Blood work's yeah. You should,
head to
especially
toe,
like if
they
you're a
scan
real
you.
athlete and
Yeah.
looking to, you should definitely do blood work. Most people should just for your health.
Our boy Phil Heath. Phil Heath is big on getting your blood work done multiple times a year because apparently your body changes, your metabolism changes.
Yeah.
And like, this is a guy 7-time Mr. Olympia. I mean, he literally perfected his body for almost a decade. And, he was like, there were certain proteins that his body metabolized better than others. He knew to eat this type of
So I
fish,
think
not
for
that type of fish.
people trying to ball on a budget, like you can kind of just go on, see how you feel.
Yeah.
I did one of those food sensitivity tests before, and it said like not to eat like turkey and like green peppers and like different like foods that to like took it out. And I could kind of it kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like
Green peppers, but red peppers were fine.
Red peppers are fine. Yeah, it was a whole list. I can't remember everything on it, but yeah, and that changes too. So you could take if you eat a lot. Let's say you eat a lot of eggs. Like I thought they were gonna say eggs I was sensitive to just because they say sometimes something you eat a lot of. Yeah. You can develop, and then that shit could change. I don't know how much I put into the food sensitivity test. I think you can kind of go on feel a little bit. If you feel like shit after you eat something, probably shouldn't eat it.
Well, this circles back to what we were talking about before. I saw that, obviously everybody in the world saw that RFK Joe Rogan thing, and he's talking about there are no food sensitivities. What we have is poison sensitivities from the pesticides that they're spraying on the foods and stuff like that. So
that's that's one of my gripes. I hate that.
Well, this circles back to the whole poison. This circles back to the whole idea of fasting. If you're fasting, you're not taking in those pesticides because you're not eating those foods.
Yeah, and it gives your body time to process and get rid of that shit, that poison that you're almost inevitably gonna get because of the fucked up system that we.
At the end of the day, we don't have the data, but I mean, there's like. You have to be open to all this information. You can't just this idea of you can just dismiss things out of pocket. It's got to be gone. You can't have any trust whatsoever in authority anymore. They've been lying to us.
And you can't just take one guy. Like you can't. Even me just saying this right now. Like you can't take what I'm saying just as Bible too. You should go and hear other people talking about this shit.
Use it
I'm
as
telling you, I've kind of done a little bit of that sifting for the people. That's why I'm talking about it.
But use it as a jump off point for your own research and your own journey for sure. Be like, hey, Mickey said this. Let me verify it.
Yeah.
You know, like absolutely. That's kind of that has to be kind of the information process as we go forward with this kind of internet age. It has to be, it can't be, I heard this, this is it. It has to be, I heard this, that's interesting, let me verify it. Take the 3 extra minutes.
Yeah. And for just to finish off my thing, I realized I didn't give an amount on like carbs. Cup of rice. 30 to 50 grams of protein, piece of fruit, vegetable, maybe.
And this
Get a couple in a day.
Looking to maintain or cut or bulk. There's different, right?
To feel great mostly. The protein isn't gonna really make you gain weight. You could eat a lot of protein and maintain the same thing.
Sure.
I've been kind of into like eating, like I'll eat, like after this, I'll eat some, like the shakes, they're great and stuff, but you need actual food.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to eat some real food after this, then I'm going to chill for a while, then I'm going to have dinner, and then that's going to be, I'm going to eat twice today. This is I call this a feeding.
Yeah.
Where I'm getting my shakes in. I'm drinking like 70 grams of protein here and like 90 carbs, something like that. You know?
Yeah, the sedentary lifestyle for people.
But I also
working,
just
that's the
lifted.
killer.
I just crushed it, lifted
Totally.
to the point where my body's about to explode.
Yeah, that's like when people saw the Michael Phelps eating 9,000 calories thing, and it's like, oh, you see, I can eat pancakes too, and it's like, okay, did you do
were you in the pool all day?
Did you do 150 laps in an Olympic pool?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's input output, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but the sedentary lifestyle is a killer. It's a killer. There was a study.
Take a walk. Put some music on.
Push-ups, believe it or not. There was a study for adult males. This was done over a long period of time in 2 different firehouses. It was like a 20-year study that a college did. If you can look it up, Kristen. And the number one marker for whether or not you were at risk for a heart attack is whether or not you can do 40 push-ups in a row. 40 push-ups in a row. So if you can do 40 push-ups in a row, it was a more accurate codependent marker for heart health than actual like cardio.
There's another little self-development thing. Hop down on the ground right now. Bust out as many push-ups as you can. See what you're at.
Yeah.
Try it again tomorrow. Try it again in 2 days.
Yeah.
Keep pushing to hit that 40 mark and then keep going.
If you're listening to this and you're working in an office setting, I'm a big proponent of when I was in an office setting an hour clock. And at that hour, drink a cup of water and do 10 push-ups. That's it. It takes 30 seconds. But it's, at the end of the day, you'll do 80 push-ups. You'll drink 8 cups of water. So, and it keeps you throughout the day. Also, it helps you break down your productivity so that you're not just dicking around. You'll realize like, oh man, I threw away 45 minutes fucking around on social media. Pull that study back up.
It kind of makes you hop into the present a little bit.
It breaks your day into 8 very achievable hours.
It makes sense.
But also that's the way my brain works. I work in 5x5. I work in segments. But maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. It did work for me. Active middle-aged men able to complete more than 40 push-ups had a significantly lower risk of cardiovascular disease outcomes, including diagnosis of coronary artery disease and major events such as heart failure during 10 years of follow-up compared to those who were able to do less than 10 push-ups during the baseline exam.
Yeah. I mean, if you are doing less than 10 push-ups, that's not good.
That's bad news.
Yeah. Why would you want to let these bodies we have just be? You want to see what they could do, see your capabilities in your life. You know what I mean?
People don't know what's happening, bro. People don't know what's happening. Life gets in the way. It's like anything else. You have to keep it in mind. Like it's not exciting. It's duty. It's like cleaning the dishes. Nobody likes doing it. It just has to get done.
When you start working out, it sucks. Like when I'm saying every day when I start working out and shit, the first 10, 15 minutes suck.
Sure.
And then the next fucking hour and a half, 2 hours, it's awesome. I feel great. Even when it fucking sucks, you feel good, man. You feel better.
My brother, I totally get it, but like you got.
I'm saying we gotta push through that. Everybody has to push through that little first window where it sucks. You gotta get through the suck.
But you're also like, I can tell you from having been on the other side of this thing, listening to you say the next hour and a half, 2 hours.
Doesn't have to be that long. I'm just saying my personal.
For a lot of guys that are working a 10-hour day, sitting in 2 hours of traffic, 12 hours, they're like, what fucking?
You don't need to work out. You can work out for 45 minutes.
I hear you. I'm just giving you their perspective. Like, whatever it is. If it's 10 push-ups, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
If it's 5-minute walk, it's better than nothing. Just get it done. I'm saying
everything with a grain of salt, man. Like, whatever that is for you. I'm speaking on my personal one, but yeah. I get it.
The key is activity. Look, it's awareness is more than anything else, right? Like awareness. Like what are you doing right now? How can you improve it? Like can you even identify that what you're doing is wrong in the moment before you can there's a lot of people that know what to do. They know what's right. They've read what's right, but they also look at the menu and see a burger's $12 and a salad's $15. Why the fuck am I getting a salad?
Yeah.
I don't know. You got that Rogan clip? I just saw this.
I pull up that the one I had from before about the cancer fasting one. What Rogan clip are you talking about?
Rogan and Killer Mike.
Because of the size, the doctors told me you have to go very fast. I mean, you have 50% chance of survival. With your history plus the size of the tumor, it doesn't look good. They offered me was 24 sessions of chemotherapy, 6 months of radiation, plus an operation at the end. When I heard that, and when I start looking at what are the odds for me if I go that way, immediately I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna do something different. I did a 21-day fast. After that 21-day fast, the tumor was reduced of 50%. After that, I implemented many of the things that I knew from my martial art training: breathing, meditation, ice cold bath in the winter as well as the summer, mini trampoline to really reboot my lymphatic system, everything that I could think of. I tried to attack that cancer from as many angles as possible.
Hey, and shout out to Christos. He was talking about this shit on his first episode that he was on with us.
What was it? Mini
trampoline?
Well, like just hopping on the trampoline?
Just like a little
kind of moving a little bit?
Get your body moving.
Okay.
And, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I also did a mini psychotherapy with a friend of mine who's a psychotherapist doctor in France. I finally met Gall and your research, and I implemented melatonin, green tea, vitamin D3, zinc, and few other supplements to really help me finish the healing completely. And bottom line, I was diagnosed in September. 4 months later, exactly on January 9, I was completely healed and cancer-free. It was a 10-centimeter tumor, so...
Is this guy selling anything? I mean, let's. But if we can be completely transparent.
You can't sell fasting. Maybe he's got a program or something.
Yeah, I mean, just to be transparent.
I don't know. Do the research.
So have you had anybody in your family deal with cancer?
Yeah, like I said, all 4 of my grandparents got cancer.
Mm-hmm. I had a young cousin die, and I have an uncle right now. And I will say this: I don't really trust the medicine industrial complex, because the cost of chemotherapy and the cost of radiation and the cost of the operations are so expensive that there's an incentive for them to do it.
I'll tell you this: if I, knock on wood, but honestly, if I live long enough, I'm gonna probably get cancer someday. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm not eating for fucking 3 weeks.
I think the whole idea, and it's also a quality of life thing. I saw what happened to my cousin.
Chemo's rough,
dude.
Bro.
They brought him down to nothing, and then the radiation.
Yeah, man. I've seen a lot of people waste away.
And then he had surgery, and they took out, like, he didn't survive. He died before his 21st birthday, and but the quality of life he would have had he survived would have been severely compromised. And I don't know if fasting would have worked or didn't work. I can tell you the chemo and the radiation and the surgery did not work. It cost a shitload of money. End of life care. I believe 92% of 92 cents out of every dollar spent on healthcare in America is spent on end-of-life care, if I have that correct. Somewhere in that area. They really just ring the register on people at the end. If you get sick and you kind of get into that kind of hospital complex there where they're saving your life, man, they're ringing the register big time.
Yeah. Big
time. And you know, I don't think that there's any reason not to try alternative medicine.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a stigma about it, but then you wonder how much of that stigma is propaganda from, you know, pharmaceutical companies and these medical conglomerates that stand to make hundreds of thousands of dollars per treatment, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. What I would love, if you're listening out there and you are in medicine, we would love to have you on to talk about this. If you're a doctor, if you're somebody who's in alternative health, if you're a researcher, this would be something that I think we would absolutely love to have you on and help educate ourselves further on this from an unbiased perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how can you know? How can you know? And I think the big important thing is you can't dismiss people like that. We're like, I got no problem admitting 5 years ago I would have listened to a guy like Christos and say, okay, Christos, read a book. Or just dismissed him outright, you know, or condescendingly dismissed him.
Right.
Now it's like, you know what, man? I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea.
You got that apparently kid video? Let's get a little levity here. And a little cuteness for the people watching. Pull this little redhead up.
It was great. And apparently, I've never been on live television before, but apparently sometimes I don't watch I don't watch the news.
Yep.
Don't watch the news.
Apparently every time, apparently Grandpa just gives me a remote after we watch the Powerball.
And this kid grew up to be Dave Landau. So if you want to pull up Normal World with Dave Landau there, I can show you how this kid grew up.
And he's still saying apparently. Hey, you were just on with Landau.
Dude, he's so funny. He's so funny. Landau.
How was your little trip to
Sick.
It was Dallas and Austin.
Dallas and Austin, yeah. Did 2 shows on the Blaze.
And you did Drinking Bros.
And I did Drinking Bros. I did Normal World on the Blaze. We did a sketch that's going to be coming out soon that I'm really excited for. And Normal World. If you guys are done watching Slick and Thick, if you like this, you'll love Normal World. Check it out with Dave Landau and Quarterback Garrett from the old Louder with Crowder show. They're back. They got their own gig on the Blaze and they're crushing it. And then Drinking Bros.
What's the Blaze?
The Blaze is it's like a center right wing. It's like Daily Wire. It's a television channel that has yeah.
And Drinking Bros.
Drinking Bros is awesome.
How was that?
Drinking Bros was incredible.
Guys? I know you've been fans.
I've been a fan of those guys for a long time. Look, they talk sports, chicks, cigars, and libertarian politics. They're my guys.
Yeah.
These are my people, man.
Yeah,
they got an 8% seltzer called Hard AF Seltzer. It's a couple of veterans. Big fans of yours, man. Big MMA fans. They were big fans of yours.
What's up.
Yeah, when next time we're down there in Austin, man. I played the Sunset Strip, the Mothership. It was dope, bro. Yeah, we gotta head down there soon. I think we're going. Yeah, I think we're going to Austin. Me and you, hopefully in the fall. It's gonna be dope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Yeah, and if you like Landau from Normal World, I'm gonna be with him in Jacksonville at the Comedy Zone the 14th and 15th.
Shit.
You guys should come check it out. The Jacksonville 14th and 15th. But I wanted you. I know you haven't heard this, so I want you to hear this live, and then I want to get your opinion on this.
Oh, and I'm going to Columbia.
My man.
I'm going to Columbia this week.
You're doing Empire?
Yeah, Empire MMA. I'm going to be commentating the MMA fights. That's going to be July 8th.
Sick.
It's free on YouTube, so you can hear my little full commentating debut. That's Empire MMA.
You're getting into commentating a lot lately. You just did commentating.
I did. Yeah, I just did. We were there cornering guys at the Maverick show, and that brought me in for 3 fights. I
can't wait for DC to shit on the way you commentate.
Bring it. I'll do a better job. I'll do a better job than him.
DC.
I'll be better than him.
It's not so easy, is it, Mick?
Nah, it's not that hard.
That's what's up.
Hard.
Now, when you're
I'm doing a seminar out there, and I'm gonna be in Medellin.
Yeah.
I'm doing it at like the Columbia MMA.
Oh, that's so
and there's
sick,
a lot
dude.
of there's a lot of like English speakers out there.
Yeah, a lot of expats out there.
Yeah, so come check me out.
That's what's up, man. That's really, really cool. When you're commentating, kind of, are you trying to do a play-by-play? Are you trying to let it play out? Like, what's the strategy?
So that's really interesting. So I was just talking to Jason Stroud about this, who we got to get on the podcast. He's a fucking national treasure.
Love Coach Stroud.
Stroud is a national treasure. But he had done a lot of commentary in Thailand, and he was saying so. There's the play-by-play guy and the color guy.
Color guy, yeah.
Color guy is like the ex-athlete or the athlete. You know what I mean? That'd be like myself.
That's Madden, and Summerall's the play-by-play.
So play-by-play guy, and I was like, I didn't know there's really a difference, but the play-by-play guy will kind of be like, all right, there's a jab, there's a right hand, and then I'm supposed to give like more insight. Because all right, he's working that jab, looking to set up a this or that, kind of make reads and give more of that inside baseball, kind of the inside scoop. More rather than just like saying like, oh, right hand, oh, this, that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of evolved and is changing a little bit where the person that can keep it a little realer, kind of like Madden did back in the day of football, like Tony Romo when he first got into the booth would tell people what's going to happen before it happened. And people would be like, no way.
Yeah, I was sick.
He'd be like, well, they're loaded up on the right side. They think they got him on a blitz, but he's got the hot call ready. Boom, and it would happen. You'd be like, whoa. And it's like, well, the dude's that locked in. So like, just like if it, I think McAfee does a great job with stuff like that. It's like you just
Pat
want
McAfee.
Oh yeah, he does a great job when he would do college football and stuff. And,
okay.
The guys that are the best in the world at it, some guys they got like so corporate. Like, Buck and Aikman make a ton of money, man, but I don't find them interesting at all.
Yeah,
I'd rather watch the Manning cast with their bullshit.
My shit's not going to be fucking corporate. We're going to keep it loose. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk some shit. We're going to, have a good time.
I would imagine the hardest part isn't just similar to like a podcast. It's kind of like getting on the other person's beats.
Right.
Like kind of feeling the vibe, feeling like getting on that kind of like double dutch. When do I hop in? Like,
yeah, like playing fucking jazz, man, making music.
Yeah,
you gotta just find your. Yeah.
But a good play-by-play guy will let you let him cook, Daddy.
Of course.
Let him rock.
Yeah.
Speaking of good play-by-play guys, would you consider Rogan a color guy? Then Anik would be the play-by-play.
Anik, yeah, and he used to be Goldberg. And Rogan, because he had experience. He was a Taekwondo black belt. And he's he knows jiu-jitsu. He knows like more of the inside stuff of it. But yeah, Anik does an excellent job. Now Mike Goldberg.
He's also 3 people, so they have like a color guy, a play-by-play guy, and then another guy who's usually a former athlete like Bisping or Dom Cruz, and that's like the third guy who's making the read.
Yeah, that's what they do most of the time now. I think they might even have had 4 at times, but in the good old days was Mike Goldberg and Joe Rogan, and that was a fucking iconic
that was
duo.
Great. That was me that was the Madden and Summerall.
That was the Madden and Summerall, and like there's guys who are great. Like I think Dom Cruz is great. I think Paul Felder is great. I love Bisping.
I like Kenny Florian. I like Ken, but he disappeared.
Yeah. Ken Flo went elsewhere.
Yeah.
But there's and I think Anik filled those big shoes of Goldberg spectacularly. I think Anik is awesome.
This is the job I think Conor McGregor was put on the earth to do. I think like Conor McGregor as a color commentator is like, that's just gold.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're the UFC, how do you get that guy in the headlines every month, once a month, and he's there. Yeah, I mean, and like, yeah, as far as branding is concerned, who knows, man? But the color commentator, so much of these fights are so similar, and you really don't know the fighters, and you don't know what's going on. Like they really have to they have to cover the entertainment aspect of it. It has to be entertaining, and sometimes these fights aren't entertaining. What do you do to make it entertaining for the fan in that regard? Like, like this is where Madden would be great during a boring game and start talking about a story. Yeah, you start talking about a story from the 70s or something like that. Or, somebody else would just, or like the Mets have a great broadcast team with Keith Hernandez, and you can tell Keith Hernandez just lights up a cigarette. He's about 2 beers deep into a 7-0 game in the 7th. He goes, yeah, so in the 80s, we used to hang out outside of the bars, and there'd be women out there with unshaved muffs, It's like, what now? Oh, I'm sorry, mitts. And it's like, Keith, all right, buddy, I think I think we're gonna go ahead and
baseball. That's because baseball is a conversation.
it's a conversational game.
The sport, it's a long. There's a lot of time between.
Totally.
They've cut down on that with the pitch clock.
Yep.
But yeah, that's got to be one where you gotta pack a lunch.
Well, not only that, but the best in the world at baseball, where they'd be like having a conversation with an audience.
Right.
Like the audience wouldn't even be there, but like they'd be sitting there and be like, "What?" Well, Rizzuto would be like, "Well, what do you think? You think he's gonna throw the slider? I bet you he throws the slider." And it's like, and he's like, talking to you. It's like, throws a fastball. I should have thrown a slider. We said it. And it's sitting there,
That's fun.
But apparently, like, teams don't like when they do that now. They don't like, oh, you know better than the guys down there. It's like, shut up, man. Like, let there be a little bit of love. Let there be a little bit of, like, juice here.
Right.
Let there be a little bit of excitement.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're here for. It's entertainment at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you guys are martial artists. This is what you care about. But for me, it's entertainment. I don't really, I want to see exciting shit. It's like NASCAR. Yeah, wow, you guys are really good at driving. Fucking crash. I want to see something crazy. Cut somebody off.
Yeah.
Who cares? I want to see the big, exciting thing. I want to see dope people doing dope shit.
What was the Rogan clip you were talking
Pull it up. Pull up the Rogan clip.
What is it?
So he's with Killer Mike, and they're talking about kind of like this. I want you to hear it because it kind of reminded me of your ideology.
Emmy-nominated actress. Man, winning that Emmy sure felt good. I blocked her, but I'm sure someone has told
Right
her.
after this.
Just like holding it. I hope she sees the picture. Like, yeah, thank God for your hate, lady, because it made me care. I went to the ceremonies and walked away with a trophy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And to her, there was a study that was done recently about left-wing authoritarianism and the way certain people behave, and that it's just it's like a bunch of different psychological conditions that they're almost indistinguishable.
Yeah.
From like horrible narcissism. Horrible, like psychotic behavior. Like, see if you can find it. What their conclusions were. But at the fringes, when people, what happens is when you have groups that are ideological groups, whether it's the left or the right.
Yeah.
You're gonna get people that just join that group that are absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And if you don't call it out, then you have a giant problem because people are going to associate you with whatever the worst aspects of your, like right-wing Proud Boys, like that kind of shit. Yeah. The experts somehow overlooked authoritarians on the left. Many psychologists wrongly assume that coercive attitudes exist only among conservatives. Of course, it's a human characteristic.
I did a speech for FIRE, for the organization FIRE, and I missaid, I'm sorry, the brown shirts of Italy, but what I meant was the brown shirts of Germany, that as the left, as you accomplish more power politically, don't use it as a bludgeon in the same way you've perceived it to be used against you.
Right.
That you have to rule, quote unquote, in a more fair and equitable way. You can't let your fair and equitable thoughts become totalitarian.
Yeah, you also can't give in to this crazy instinct that we all humans have to be tribal.
Yes.
And I am a Democrat. I am a lifelong blue no matter who. You can't, that's not wise.
That's both, it's both sides, but we tend, I was fortunate enough to grow up in a household where my grandmother was SCLC member, from Tuskegee, had been born in 1932, had been a part of civil rights stuff. My grandmother grew up on a farm, could go to school. They weren't wealthy, but they had food, they had sustenance, they had education. My grandfather grew up working in a sawmill at 8 years old because his father abandoned his family and he had to feed his mothers and sisters. So his mentality was much more libertarian, I would say. His mentality was, if God gave you an appetite and a mind to build a fishing rod, you should be able to catch fish. And my grandmother was like, you shouldn't complain about having to buy a fishing license because the game warden has to make sure things are legit and somebody has to clean up the park. So I got a chance to see these wonderful political arguments between these two people that loved each other. My grandmother, college-educated woman, my grandfather drove a truck and hauled moonshine and gambled, you know what I mean? Yeah. He married this God-fearing woman. I never saw him walking to church. But they had these great debates that showed me that there are no absolutes, that there are going to be some things from each side that make sense to run a good household. And I watched them just do it right. You know
That's cool. That's cool right there. So I watched that, and you and I have had these conversations about kind of like tribalism and the idea of like politics. Now, one of the things I'm struggling with, and I got to be better at it, is, man, I've lost so much respect for kind of like left-leaning people. I just don't see them the same way I used to see them, and I can't like get the politics of it out of my mind. You don't look at politics at all when you talk to people or anything like that. It's not even like something that comes to your mind, right? So like the question I have here, when you look at something like that, and when you look at, you know, kind of what goes on in everyday life, what is it about the politics that you're able to ignore? Or do you ignore it and just not care about it? Like, what is the idea behind like not being engaged kind of in this way?
Politically?
Yeah.
I mean, I look at each person as kind of as their own person. What are like their actions, their kindness, their heart? You know what I mean? If they're you can tell pretty quickly if someone's, you know, a piece of shit versus someone who's like a good person. You know what I mean? And I think there's good people on both sides. I think, you know, there is a little, you know, there is a tribalness in people, and, you know, even like a little bit of, especially what we've seen the past few years, of brainwashing. Yeah. You know, and it's not my job to unbrainwash people. You know, I too have to accept, you know, people as they are. If they start spewing stuff that I don't agree with, I can speak up about it. Mm-hmm. But I don't look for like an argument. I'm not looking to show someone how they're wrong or show, you know what I mean? If you know, if there's a productive conversation, then great. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't even partake really.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's where I'm at, and I think that's a bad thing. And the thing I disagree with, and this is something I got to check myself on, really, but I even when I do my self-evaluations, I'm just becoming more and more okay with it. I don't think there are, like, good people on both sides. I don't think that you can see, after all these years of what happened, of the lockdowns.
Well, I'm not talking about the politicians. I'm talking about the people.
I agree. I've kind of lost my patience with them. I think that there's
patience with the people?
I think so. I think that there's been enough evidence to this point that they should at least acknowledge what they went along with and what they supported, and they don't. And every day that they don't, But
is it kind of that you want them to take their medicine?
I do. There's definitely part of that, and that's a problem.
Yeah, that's not right. You can't expect that.
But can you at least just admit? Can you just admit?
Admitting is taking their medicine.
So I can't even ask for that. I can't even ask them to admit they were wrong.
I mean, you have a right to feel that way, for sure.
I don't.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't expect it.
Mick, it's to the point, man. I don't want to do business with them. I don't want to give them my money. I don't want to have them. Like I don't want. I don't want anything to do with them. I sit here and I say, that's not good. That's not a good way to feel. That makes me just as bad as them. Yeah. Right, in certain regards.
Correct. No, it does.
You know, and I look at a guy like Killer Mike, who you know, he's been a Bernie Sanders supporter. He's been a left wing guy, but I've always had a lot of respect. I don't care what your politics are. Frankly, I know people aren't going to believe this. I care how you come to them. If you've educated yourself, if you've thought about things and you have opened yourself to multiple worldviews, and this is where you've landed, I can respect it. I can disagree with you, but I can respect it. The tribal aspect of it, this is who my family votes for. Anybody who doesn't agree with me is a racist, homophobe. I'm out.
That's ridiculous.
I'm out. I'm out immediately.
I'm out on that too.
Yeah.
I'm out on that too. 100%. So that's crazy. That's crazy. That's a broken person.
There's a part of me that feels though that these people are a threat to my well-being. Like there's a part of me that feels like
they made a bunch of people get a vaccine and then shamed people who didn't want to get it and made them act like they were being selfish, and there's a whole bunch of bullshit there. It literally was a threat to your health.
Having these people in my life is a risk.
You ain't lying, man. There's been countless people who've had so many negative things.
Not even allowed to say it. And we're not even allowed to say it.
Who's not allowed to say it?
No, I'm saying we are. It'll get censored or whatever. We'll get fucking taken off of the Google tube. But think about that. We can't even say what's true, or at least at the very moment, we have to acknowledge the consequences of what happened for speaking truth. And nobody on that side says that's wrong. I got a problem with that.
True. Yeah, I got a problem because there's truth and there's lies. And if you're coming from a place of truth, truth needs to be heard. Truth needs to be told. Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons why we do this. 100%. You know what I mean? And so, truth is coming back in style in a big way.
For sure.
And truth, you know what I mean? Truth. If we're gonna have a future, it's got to be through truth. Truth is the only way.
I agree.
You know?
I think truth will prevail. I just don't know how long it'll take.
Yeah.
And what happens in the interim.
Yeah.
But I look at something like that with a guy like Rogan, who they treat like a right-wing Nazi now, who's always been a left-wing guy, and a guy like Killer Mike, who was a Bernie Sanders supporter, who just talked about the virtues of libertarianism. I say, all right, well, maybe there is some sort of hope. You know, maybe there is some sort of like, and then, you know, how do you amplify those voices? How do you amplify, like Russell Brand just did a great thing with Matt Taibbi and Schellenberger about I
was a fan of Russell Brand as like an actor. Like I loved him in Get Him to the Greek and Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah.
Inside of you.
He's doing, and now he's turned into like the world's preeminent journalist. It's
and now he's like, it's like I'm an even bigger fan of him now.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And what they found, these 50 NGOs. We talked about NGOs in like our third episode.
This is the Taibbi Russell Brand thing.
There was 50 NGOs that all got together with the government, with Stanford and the Ivy Leagues, and coordinated this censorship attack. It's nuts. 50 of them. That's like 50 shadow governments came together to form an alliance to shut me and you up online. Like we're up against shit. Like people have no idea the scope of the powers that we're up against. Yeah. It's like it's Hydra. It really is. It's Hydra. It's a Bond villain. It's the Illuminati. These NGOs are crazy. And I have to be better. And one of the things, you know, I look at a guy like you and you look at people individually and I respect that so much. I'm not able to do it anymore. I'm not able to do it I can't see people, especially if I follow them online, it's even worse. I cannot separate kind of the art from the artist. I'm like, you support this. I can't see you as a reasonable person. I just can't. I can't see you as somebody like I want around. It's affecting me. It's actually not affecting me negatively. I'm going to admit this, and this is a horrible thing to admit. The more I remove those people from my life, the happier I get.
All right, so then
the more I isolate myself, but that's not good. You shouldn't isolate yourself ideologically.
You should. You're right. Not ideologically, but you can separate in your interactions and stuff for your peace. That you need to do that.
Have to do it.
There has to be a degree of. You can't just let everything in. There has to be a degree of elimination, and you know,
crazy
for your own sanity, your own energy, all that shit.
Yeah. To that
I can't
point,
deal with I can't deal with like negative, like oh woe is me people. Like get away from me. I don't. I'm like, hey, love you, wish you the best. I don't think it's going to be good for you.
It's an energy suck.
It's not going to be. It's probably not going to turn out good for you. And being around you is not going to be good for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So I don't want. It's that popular saying: if you're around 4 millionaires, you'll be the fifth. If you're around 4 pieces of shit, you'll be the fifth.
No doubt about it.
It's so you have to cultivate your environment and your people because we're all energy and vibes and stuff, and that shit's contagious. You know.
So cultivate your energy and your people now.
Your environment, yeah.
Does that mean bring people in, give them a chance, or have them prove themselves first before they're let in?
It depends how big of a chance you want to give them. You know what I mean? But I'd say, have them prove themselves to a degree, and also you got to keep that grass low because there's a lot of snakes that'll, be what was that, wolves disguised in sheep's clothing?
Yep.
You know what I mean? That shit's out there too. Not some people, It's like David says, if they're, if people are around bad people, they become bad people. If you're around good people, you can become a good person.
Yeah.
Either way, and some people aren't totally good, and they might have, ill intentions or ulterior motives that you gotta keep that grass low, and that's why we need truth. You need to be looking through the eyes of truth, because if you're not going to be discerning and stuff, you're going to get fucked.
Absolutely. I think that's an excellent way to put it. That's a great way to end right there. Omri, do we have anything in the comments we want to talk about before we go? Cool. All right. For the great Mickey Gall, I'm Gerard Michaels here out of the Podcast Junkie studio in lovely Boca Raton, Florida. This has been Slick and Thick on Gas Digital. We will see you guys Saturday at 2. If you're new to Gas Digital, check us out. It's gasdigital.com. Use code SNT for a free week. Gasdigital.com. Use code SNT. Gerard Michaels, Mickey Gall. We'll see you on Saturday. Peace.
Peace.